Hi friends, it's Deanna here today, and today I'm bringing you another free pattern sew along. This is the Boxwood Hoodie by Mood Fabrics, and I am super excited to show you just how easy it is to sew it up. So let's do it together. Let's jump right in and create our pocket. I've got my pocket right here, and from the top I'm going to fold down 1 inch and steam. And then I can head over to my machine and top stitch that down. But I'm also going to go ahead and steam the sides in 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to top stitch. That's where I'm going to top stitch to my actual bodice. I feel like I want that side to be in, so that seam. So I'm going to do the sides first and then pull that down. So I'm gonna go to my sewing machine and make a top stitch line here. And then this side, these sides and the bottom are gonna go sewn right onto my front bodice. I am using my cover stitch to do this step, but you can use a stitch on your sewing machine as well. It is such a beautiful day out and my sun is all over my table. But I just love the sun, so I am not going to close my blinds. I hope this doesn't annoy you, but I'll try to keep the sewing on this side so you can see it. But anyway, so now I've got my pocket and it's been sewn at the top, not the side yet, because the sides will get sewn onto the actual bodice. Now this pattern does not come with like a little pattern where to put your pocket, which a lot of patterns usually do. So we're just gonna eyeball it. Here's my middle section. I'm just going to go in like a couple of inches from the middle. And then if it doesn't work out, if it looks weird, then you can move it around when you do it. But I'm going in just a couple of inches from the center. And then from the top, I don't know, here's the neckline. It looks like, yeah, I went down like 5 inches from the neckline. So that's what I'm doing. And you obviously can place it wherever you want to. Once you look at my final result and you're like, that looks hideous, then you can move it or whatnot. But that's what I'm doing. So I'm just pinning this on, and you can use some kind of steam seam or something like that to kind of hold it down while you sew it if you want. I'm just going to pin it, and we're going to sew down the sides over the bottom up to the side and tack that pocket on. And hopefully it's in a good area. I don't know. We'll see. All right, my pocket is been sewn on. Now we're gonna grab our front bodice is face up. We're gonna grab our back bodice and we're gonna lay it face down right at the shoulders. And we're gonna sew those shoulders right sides together. I'm going to use my serger. You can use any kind of stretch stitch on your sewing machine if you don't have a serger. This is a French terry that it's got stretch on it. It's got that looped, so I love it. It's like a sweatshirt material. All right, now that our shoulders are sewn, we are also going to sew our sides. Our sleeves are going to be inset on this pattern. Now, our sleeves at this next step are supposed to be sewn right sides together, but I'll get to that. What happened was I ran out of fabric, so I ended up using a different color fabric, the same one that I used for the pocket, as a bottom of my sleeve. So what I did was I cut my pattern where I had my fabric. Well, that's as much fabric as I had left. And then I added an inch, a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And so now I'm going to sew those together. This is the bottom of the sleeve, and then create a full sleeve, and it's going to be a color block sleeve because I ran out of fabric. See? And then I'll sew them together and it'll be my one sleeve. Now, if you have more questions about how to cut a color block, I do have a video here on my channel of a full color blocking tutorial, so go check that out. All right, I am also going to go ahead and grab my hood and work on that while I'm here. I'm grabbing my hood side and I'm grabbing the other side, and I'm facing them right sides together, and I'm going to sew along the crown, that rounded area here. Sew them right sides together. I'm sewing the crown, sewing the sleeves together, the color block sleeve, and sewing the sides of my hood. My shirt, I mean hoodie shirt, bodice. Bodice is the word. All right, hammer, grommets. We're gonna go to our hood in a minute, but first I'm gonna grab my sleeves and see, this would have been the next step, except for I had to sew them together. Here, you can give them a steam. I'm gonna give them a steam and maybe even top stitch, it's up to you. But then you're going to fold them right sides together and sew that raw edge. Now, mine, because I have 2 pieces, I did that first, but this is the next step that you would do if you only have your 1 piece of your sleeve like you're supposed to in your pattern. So we're gonna sew them right there. I'm gonna do that to both, but first I'm gonna put them aside because I do want to steam that first before I do that. Now our hood has been sewn at the crown, and then we're going to go ahead and add our grommets. So this is going to be folded in and top stitched. So you're going to have like a, what do you call it here? You're going to have a, what is the word? A casing for where your strap is going to go through, your little, whatever it is that you're using to do the straps for your hood. So what you're going to do is here, you're going to put your grommet first. So you know that this is going to be folded down. I think it said 1 inch. And you don't want it to go, your grommet to go all the way through. So you want your grommet to be right here. I'm going to leave enough seam allowance for this hood to be sewn on. Now all that, the pattern itself doesn't have very great instructions, so this is how we're going to do it, and hopefully it works out. I've got my water soluble marker. I've got my fabric folded, so I'm going to go over here on this side, and I'm going to go about 1/2 inch up. Well, let me go about 1 inch up because it's probably like seam allowance and then a little bit, so we're going to go like right here is where my grommet's going to go. Now I've got a grommet kit, and these grommets are a little bit smaller than what they call for. They call for 1 inch grommet. This is not quite 1 inch. This is 5/16, or yeah, 5/16, 8 millimeters. So it's smaller than what they call for, but that's what I have. So that's what I'm using. And you do like to put, probably the best thing to do is to put some interfacing here on the back. But I'm not, because I am, you know, I don't listen to instructions. Now you're gonna rip a little hole right here on this side where the hood is. So what I like to do is, where the grommet is. So I like to do is just kind of pinch it a little bit so I can see the shape. It's the same shape that my marker left behind. And then I'll fit my grommet in that hole. Then I'm gonna place it over my grommet kit thingy. And I'm gonna grab the other side of it and place it right on top, catching the fabric in there. Then I'm gonna grab like my little topper thing, and I'm gonna use my hammer and hammer it down. And there it is. My grommet is on. So then now when I turn this to the inside and top stitch it, my grommet will be right there, and I'll be able to feed my whatever strap, whatever I'm using for a strap, shoelace, whatever it is, I'm gonna be able to fit it through and come out the other side. So I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and top stitch this down on that fold and top stitch it all around the whole thing. I'm probably going to go ahead and use my cover stitch, which kind of makes me like, I'm gonna have a line here of black stitches unless I change it to white, but I don't care. I think I'm gonna leave it that way because then it'll match my other stuff. I think it'll be fine. And then do grommet on the same thing on the other side for the grommet. Actually, look at this hood. See how it has this little line here? That's where the fold is gonna go. If you see that, that's the fold right there. It's about, it looks like 1.5 inches. That's what I followed, that hole right there. So I'm gonna mark it here and do it on this side as well. I hope I only need 1/2 inch to overlap. If it looks weird on mine, you can put your grommet a little bit higher. Again, there was no clear instructions on where to place your grommet, so I'm just going for it. All right, let's go top stitch that. Let's go sew our sleeves together, and then we'll come back to attach it. All right, so I am top stitching that down. Again, I'm using my cover stitch, but you can use your sewing machine. I don't know if I can get this to go on my cover stitch. We'll have to see if it works because of this being so close right there. I don't think it will. Because of the grommet being right there. I might have to do it with my sewing machine actually. And then that kind of solves the issue of having the black on there. Yeah, I'll do that. All right, let's see if I can do it with my sewing machine. It's still gonna be really close. Maybe not. Maybe this is the reason why she or whoever wrote the pattern did not do their grommets first. It says on the pattern that they forgot to do the grommets first, but I'm kind of thinking that maybe it's a struggle to get these grommets in first and then sew those down. We got it. All right. I don't know how you would do a whole inch grommet and get it just inside because I have barely been able to get it inside. So yeah, but it's done. So that looks good. Now we're sewing those sleeves right sides together at the outer edge. All right, so my hood is prepared. My sleeves are ready as well. And my bodice is ready. So as you can see, I have the notches for the front and the back. I'm going to grab one of my sleeves, well, both of my sleeves. I'm going to turn them right side out. And I'm going to look for those notches. See how there's two here? That means that's the back. So that's going to be on this side. And then this one, the two notches are on the back. So this is going to fit right here. Because this bottom piece is going to match up with the with the armpit seam. And then the top is going to match up with the top. And then those sides, right sides together. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And then we're going to sew those on. Now for my neckline, we're going to match up to shoulder seams and go to the front. I like to do like, whoops. I like to do a little notch to mark them. And then do the same towards the back. And then I'm going to match the front and the back and go to the sides. Now for my hood, I might go over there and kind of stitch them together here and overlap them a little bit. So that way it's easier to sew on because this is going to be our front. Or maybe I'll just clip them for now. This is going to be our front and this is our back. So then we just need our sides. And we're going to fit our hood right inside our bodice. Right sides together and match up that front to the front. And I don't know, I think this is going to be kind of hard to sew because I've got those grommets right there, but if I can't do it on my serger, I'll go on my sewing machine like I did, and then mark my sides like I did with my when I did the casing for the drawstring. It'll be fine. It's just very close. The grommets are very close. So now I'm going to sew this whole thing around and those sleeves, and then all we'll have left to do is to hem the sleeves and the bottom of our hoodie. I'm going to start with the sleeves because that's the easiest part. I'm still kind of concerned about the hoodie and the grommet situation. All right, I'm going to start with the back and hopefully everything goes good in the front. For the moment of truth, yay, it worked out. We did it. Yay. All right, friends, it actually did work out and it looks good. My hood is ready. My sleeves need to be hemmed. So sometimes I like to try things on first before I hem anyway. So we'll fold it down I think it says 1/2 inch, but I'm gonna probably try it on to make sure. And then hem the bottom as well. I might go up and just leave it like raw or hem it raw. We'll see, because it gives it more like a, you know, sporty look. We'll see. Anyway, for here too, I've got some of this decorative trim. I don't have any drawstring. I was looking to see if I had some drawstring on my, but I don't. So I might just have to use some of this cording or make my own drawstrings. I don't know, this is really thin. But anyway, we're just gonna put it in there for now. Gotta use a safety pin that will fit. And use some tape for that fraying part right there. Well, I thought I had some tape, but I don't. I feel like this is gonna fray to pieces if I don't put some tape on there. Yeah, it'll fray. It's not gonna work. Anyway, so I gotta go find some tape and tape it up. Oh, we'll see. No, if I make a knot, it's not gonna fit through. Will a knot fit through? A small little knot? And then we'll be able to put this on here and go all the way around. We'll see. Come on. Small enough knot. Yep. There it is. And so now I'm going to make a bigger knot so it's not going to come off. Or if you wanted to tack them on, you could tack them on, but then there won't be a drawstring anymore. But maybe a bigger knot will do. All right, I'm going to go try it on, and then we'll see how much I need to hem. All right, friends, we are finished with this sew. I think it turned out really good. I love the oversized fit. I think the pocket placement turned out really well. I think these drawstrings look cute with that, even though it's a little bit too small, but that's okay. I could always get some other ones. The hood turned out really good. It's an oversized hood, which is great because I like oversized hoods. And so the fit, let's talk about the fit. I fit somewhere between a 10 and a 12, and the way that the pattern goes is a little bit different, but I did end up printing an 8 to 12. Bo wants to say hello. Hi. And I think it fits really well. It's, hold on buddy, hold on, I'm trying to tell them about the hoodie. Hold on, I know you want to play. Okay, go over there, go over there. All right, now I can tell you. Anyway, if he comes back, just ignore him for a little bit. And so anyway, the length is a little bit cropped. This is where my hip is. So like the back kind of hits at the hip and the front hits a little bit higher than the hip. So I do like that length because I like to wear high-waisted jeans anyway. But if you wanted something a little bit longer, I would add some extra length. The sleeves fit perfectly. Like I said, I color blocked these, so it's a little bit different than what the original pattern called for. Right now, none of it is hemmed. I haven't hemmed the sleeves or the bodice, and I wanted to get your advice. I think for the sleeves, I'm not sure if I want to leave them like this and just hem them, or leave them raw, or if I want to go ahead and do some cuffs, because I can do some cuffs, and I do have a video coming up soon which I could use this example for that video on how to create your own cuffs and neckbands and how to measure that out and how to do that. So anyway, so should I do the cuffs or leave it like it is because it's like a loose fit? And also at the bottom, should I leave it raw because it's got this kind of like raw look? I can stretch it out. If I stretch it out, it'll curl. Or should I go ahead and hem it? And if I'm hemming it, should I hem it under or should I hem it over? Go ahead and comment and let me know below. Let me know if you have any questions about this. So I know that sometimes the instructions can be a little bit iffy. So hopefully this was helpful. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss any of these sewing tutorials. And also come find me on Instagram at Eloise.Ezra. That's where I share a lot of behind the scenes and finished results and have polls on what fabrics to use and whatnot. So come find me and let's be friends. I hope you have a great rest of your day and I'll see you all next time. Bye.